Hey lovelies, thanks for stopping by today. I am excited to share with you everything I took on vacation beauty-wise. We're gonna go through what I decided to take on my 12-day Caribbean and West Indies cruise. I am very excited to share with you my thoughts on the things that I decided to take, the things that I loved having, a couple things that I wish that I had packed, and some of the stuff that I just didn't need. But if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist, and here on my channel I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. And like I said, today's video is all about all of the beauty items that I took on my trip. I did today do this look featuring, this is pretty much like what my everyday most popular makeup look was when I was on the trip. I did film that for Instagram, so that is over there right now if you want to know all the deets on that, but I'm going to be sharing with you everything that I packed. So we're going to dive into this. I am also going to be doing a little vlog style chit chat video on my trip, and in that video I'm going to share a few of the things that I got to take on the trip that are not beauty related. It'll probably be at the end of that video in case you're curious about some of the things that I got that I was like, wow, I'm so glad that I have this. There were a couple little like warm weather beachy vacation-y type things that I was like, I really want to let people know about these because I did enjoy having them on my trip, but today is all beauty focused. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into this. We've got a lot to chit chat about, but I'm very excited to be back in the swing of things. I'm also very excited to get to show off my tan before Wisconsin sucks it away from me. Okay, let's get into this. All right, so first of all, let's go into my little bag here. This is a 31 kind of like travel bag. The thing that I like about this is it is like plastic lined on the inside. So if something explodes, you don't have to worry about it staining your bag or doing any of that. I will say I have another bag that I got for this trip. I just didn't have time to like transfer everything over, and I am going to be switching. I definitely didn't utilize it as well as I could have because I just didn't have the time to transfer everything over. So I actually took both, which is maybe a little bit ridiculous, but here we are. If you are like the super minimalist packer, Norwegian does have shampoo in the shower. They have shampoo and body wash in the shower, but y'all know me as a professional hairdresser, I'm not going to be using any of that stuff. So I wanted to make sure I brought some multitasker items. This is the Tea Tree Hemp Restoring Shampoo and Body Wash from Paul Mitchell. So the nice thing that I like about this is it is, like it says, a shampoo and a body wash. This is what Jeremy uses in the shower every day. I like it. It's sulfate free. It still gives a nice cleanse, but it's gentle on the hair. I knew I was going to be doing a lot of shampooing because we had so many days of like snorkeling or times that I knew I was going to be in the ocean and I would need to cleanse my hair. So this was great. I did use it as a shampoo and body wash. From that same line, we have the replenishing hair and body oil. Used it for exactly that reason, for the hair and the body. Jeremy likes using this as a beard oil. I definitely used it when I felt like my ends were getting parched. It's a great moisturizer. It just adds a little bit of nourishing oil to the hair. I really love this and it smells nice. So the other shower item that I brought is in this little travel tube. So these are actually called travel tubes. So I got these on Amazon. It came in like a pack of 5 or 6. They have like different tips. There's like a squeezy tube tip, this flip top, oh, and a spray one. So the nice thing about this travel tube is it actually opens all the way. So this comes off and it's like a little pouch, so you can completely rinse it out, wash it. They are dishwasher safe. So you don't have to worry about trying to take one of those other little travel tubes, you know, like the squeezy bottles, and try to like clean it out all the way. This would be much easier to clean out. This has some of the Tea Tree Lavender Mint Co-Wash. So if you aren't familiar with the Co-Wash, it's basically a cleansing conditioner. It's lather free. It's just a gentle way to cleanse your hair. I use this as well because, y'all, as a long-haired person, I wash my hair like every 8 days or so. So going on this trip we were actually gone for 13 days, and knowing that I was probably going to be washing my hair like every day that we had jumped in the water, I was like, that is going to be more washes than my hair sees in like a month and a half. So I did rotate. Usually I would do one time of co-wash and then a time using the Tea Tree Hemp shampoo. So I really loved having these. I can't wait to use them. I think it'll be great to use also for like if we go kayaking and we want to have a few things along, you can use them for food items, whatever you want. So these will be nice to have. And by the way, anything that I can, I will have it linked down below for you if you did want to check it out. Okay, so the other item that I brought was this Avapui Wild Ginger Keratin Intensive Treatment. This is my favorite deep conditioner. It does add a bit of strength from the keratin and also some great hydration from the Avapui extract in it. So anytime that I was cleansing my hair, I would use this in the shower and just let it sit for a few minutes. But there were also days where I knew I was going to be doing a braid like this or maybe just like a sleek bun, and I would put it in as almost like a styling cream and then just wear it all day like that. I would let the sun, the heat outside just sort of like give me a deep conditioning treatment, and my hair felt so soft. About halfway through, I was like, whoa, my hair needs a little love. And let me tell you, after the first time we jumped in the water, like all of my color was gone. My blonde was like back to blonde. There was no rose gold. You can't quite see it because it's all in this braid right now, but I was like, oh, I'm light and I'm tan. And so I knew that my hair needed a little bit of nourishment just from it being like stripped in the ocean. So this is wonderful. The other thing that I brought from this line is the No Blowout Hydro Cream. I'm sad they're discontinuing this item. I'm like gonna be on the hunt to try to find it because this is a great texturizing cream. I really liked to just throw it in to kind of like smooth down any flyaways. It doesn't get crispy or crunchy. And so when I was doing a braid or a bun, this is what I would use to just kind of like smooth out my edges. The hair product that I use the most is sort of like my all-time #1 love. This is the sculpting foam from Paul Mitchell. This is what I use when I'm leaving my hair naturally wavy. I do have coarse natural wave, and I knew on this trip that most of the time I was just gonna kind of let it go. If I wasn't doing a braid or a bun, I was just gonna let my hair air dry and just be wavy, and that's what I did. I did bring a blow dryer and a curling iron in case towards the end of the trip, when I knew I wasn't gonna be getting like in the ocean anymore, that I might wanna like have my, you know, curled hair, and I was like, no, don't care. Don't even care about it. The last day when we met up with Natalia Lavrova in New York, I was like, I'm just putting a bun in and calling it a day. Like, whatever, I don't care. Other than Talia, I'm never gonna see any of these people ever again, and I don't care. So that's what I did. But this is really great. It smells coconutty. It just feels like vacation. It's hydrating. It has enough hold to it that it keeps my waves from looking too much like Hagrid, and I really enjoy it. So I knew that this one had to come along with me. I did also bring a little mini hairspray. I think the only time I used it was to just like smooth down the little fluffies the night that I had my little sleek bun in. This is the Extra Body Finishing Spray, if I didn't already say that. I'm not an avid hairspray user normally, but it was nice to have for the times that I did have a few hairs that I needed control. So that was it for hair, y'all. Like, I was really pretty minimalistic. Now let's get into some of the skincare. Okay, for my skincare, for cleanser, I have this milk cleanser that I've been trying to use up for quite a while. I brought it along. Jeremy and I both used it. He was like, oh, this smells really good. So he enjoyed using it. It's, again, just a really nice basic cleanser. What I also did bring along was my Pharmacy Green Clean. I just love having a cleansing balm, and I had this little baby guy, so I brought this along and it was perfect. I mean, I just love doing a double cleanse, and I was like, okay, as long as I can have the little guy in here, it's worth having on vacation. Not that I wore heavy makeup ever, so I didn't feel like I needed it, but it was nice to just have to make sure my face was completely clean. Let's see what else is in here. For my moisturizer, so again, just a couple little minis that I had. I have the Laneige Water Bank Moisture Cream, and then also the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. So I felt like at the beginning of the trip, when I was still in like Wisconsin skin zone, I knew I was going to be more dry, and so I did pull this one out, especially at night. This was what I was using. This is the first time I've ever used this. I did like it. Would I ever purchase it? Maybe not, but this was, kind of a nice one to be able to quench my skin. But as we were getting into the warmer, more humid climate, I did switch over to using this one primarily. This has a nice feel to it. This does sort of remind me of that, what is it? Belief, that True Aqua Bomb cream, not the like gel one, but the creamy one. Again, this was really nice. It smells really nice. I've had a couple Laneige items that I've had recently that I've really enjoyed, so I would consider purchasing them if I got to a point where I was using up all my moisturizers that I have. But it was nice to have these little travel guys along. Now for serums and such, I kept it really simple. I did bring my Good Genes lactic acid treatment. I did like to have this along just to make sure that I was keeping everything like smooth and sloughed off. I did also have my C15 Super Booster. I wanted to make sure to have some good antioxidant protection, especially with being in all the sun. So this was one that I used every day. Speaking of something that I used every day, of course, sunscreen. This is the Isntree Hyaluronic Acid Watery Sun Gel. So oftentimes, like during the day, especially as my skin was more hydrated as we were getting into those warmer climates, this is what I used as my moisturizer and my sunscreen. This does have an SPF of 50+, so this was definitely enough to have as protection for me. In the beginning, when my skin was a little bit dry, I still was using that Laneige cream and then topping this over the top, but I just find that this has a lightweight moisturizing texture to it, so I usually find that it does just fine on my skin. And there were a lot of days that like simple quick is what I wanted, especially if it was a day where we were just going to be jumping in the water almost, you know, like a couple hours after getting up. I was like, I'm not going to do a bunch of other skincare. My face is going to be getting wet soon anyway. So on that note, let's just talk about the couple sunscreens that we did bring. I'm going to say I wish that I had brought something that was a little bit higher SPF. I thought one of these was like an SPF 50, but they're both 30. So let's see, I have the Hawaiian Tropic Sheer Touch lotion. This is again 30, and then I had this Neutrogena Invisible Daily Defense Lotion in 30. I wasn't sure if this was going to be enough, and I got this just to make sure, but this is the one, I didn't even crack into this one. This is the one we used just because with going to the beach, with, you know, being on catamarans and different things when we were snorkeling, I wanted to make sure to have enough for both of us to be able to reapply. So we just brought this Big Daddy. It was fine for most of the trip. However, Jeremy definitely either should have been reapplying more often or needed something with a higher SPF to start with, because he got a little bit pink on the first couple days. So I didn't do too bad. I got a little bit on my nose and a little bit on my shoulders just from one day of snorkeling and not reapplying enough, but I never felt like overly burned. But Jeremy's a little roasty toasty right now. So if I could, I definitely would have brought at least one of these in a higher SPF. I swear that one of these was, and I put it in and they're both 30. So shame on me for not having high enough SPF protection. Now, the other kind of random things that I brought for my deodorant, I chose this Rosé scent from Native. This is like a grapefruit rose, and it was perfect for the trip. It was just light, fresh, kind of tropical vibes. I did really enjoy it. And then I did bring 2 body hydrators. So I brought this little Sol de Janeiro Bum Bum Cream. Did I use this one? Maybe once. The thing was, if I was going to be wearing another fragrance, this just wasn't going to go, because of course the Bum Bum Cream does have that like more like strong pistachio scent. So I did use this one time along with something else that I'm going to show you in just a second. But the other hydrator I brought was this Layla Lou Everyday Body Oil from by Rosie Jane. This is so nice. Even the one day that I put it on Jeremy, he was like, wow, that soaks in really nicely. I think I mentioned this in my recent like fragrance haul review video. By the way, if you missed that, here's the thing. Everybody wants to see fragrance videos and they say, oh, we love your fragrance videos, but they just don't get many views. So if you missed it, it's here on my channel, and I'll have it linked down below if you do want to check it out. But in that video, I was saying that I like this so much that I could see going back and getting a couple of the other scents just because it absorbs so nicely into the skin. So this is what I used most days, and it did go pretty well with the fragrance that I brought, which I will be showing you in just a second. The other product that I brought, and I don't even know if they make this anymore, I don't even have the original cap, but this is also from Sol de Janeiro, and this is the Copacabana Bronze Glow Oil. So this I should have used it a couple times, but there was one night I was feeling super tan. I wore this little like sundress. It was on Valentine's Day actually, and this I put on my legs, my arms, like on my décolleté, and it looks super dark. It looks super dark in here. I have it in 2 shades, this deeper one and then one that's like a lighter gold, but it really does enhance the bronze on your skin. It has some nice shimmer to it. It smells really yummy. The thing is you want to give it just like 5 minutes to dry on your skin, because I was like, oh my God, is this gonna transfer everywhere? Because I was wearing this little like light animal print dress. I'll put a picture up here somewhere. You probably won't be able to see. Oh, maybe I did take a picture with a mirror. I don't know. There aren't many pictures from this trip of me because I'm the photographer and don't really get many photos. But if I can find one, maybe you'll be able to see the little extra bronze that I had going on. But once I let this dry for 5 minutes, it didn't transfer at all. I was worried like when I hugged Jeremy, oh my God, is he gonna have like almost that like self-tanner vibe on, and it wasn't. So it was pretty transfer proof. I do really like this. I don't know if they make it anymore. It's one of those things that for me is only a vacation item. Like I would never go through the extra steps normally to like pop this on, but over time my skin got very dry just from all the sun, all of the salt water, and my legs were like tan alligator skin. It was not cute. So I definitely needed something that like gave me some glow and hydration, and I do really like this one. All right, let's talk fragrance. Let's go over the fragrances that I brought now on my Instagram for my Scent Sunday series. By the way, if you've missed that, on my Instagram, my friend Stephen Ford and I are sharing a scent that we're using every week just to kind of like use up some of our samples and travel sizes. I did share this one in that series. This is the Ellis Brooklyn West scent. Check out this travel size, y'all. I'm almost done with it. This is a very beautiful, like citrusy, just beautiful, fresh, clean scent that I really love. I really enjoyed this one. Jeremy complimented me on this when I was wearing it, and it was a perfect one to have for just that like light, probably not offensive to anybody, great in warm weather scent. I really did like it, and it paired pretty well with the Le Lulu body oil. I did also bring this little travel card with some of the Le Lulu not body oil, the perfume oil on it. And I did use that once or twice when I just wanted that scent. It is like a pear, grass, and let's see, what do they say? Pear, grass, and jasmine scent. So again, another like light, slightly fruity floral. Now, the one thing that I brought that I was very surprised that I used and I ran out of, I had this little sample vial that my friend Jennifer from Al Feisty had sent me of the Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille scent when I hadn't tried it yet. And I was saying that originally when I got this, I was like, oh, okay, it's nice, but like not worth buying. And then I pulled it out and used it again, and I was like, what was I thinking? I did buy the full size. I didn't take that one along. I just took whatever was left in this. And honestly, I wore this a lot on the trip, and I wouldn't necessarily think of it as like a summertime / hot weather fragrance, but it's just such a good date night scent. And at night on the ship, it is a little bit cooler. Like, it isn't super warm because you're on the ocean, it's windy, and then when you're in the air conditioning, it's definitely cooler. And I just wanted something with like a sexy, rich vibe. So I really enjoyed this. The one night, I think it was on Valentine's Day, I asked Jeremy if he would prefer like fresh and fruity or if he wanted something like deep sexy, and he was like, oh, deep and sexy. So I threw this one on for Valentine's Day, and it is now gone. So thank you, Jennifer. Now I'll have to pull out my full size or buy my own travel size. Okay, actually, I'm gonna share this one right now. This was the travel bag that I got right before we went on our trip. I was like, I feel like I need something that has a little bit more space than the one that I just showed you, which I don't think you can get anymore. I got this on Amazon because it was like literally like 3 days before we were leaving. This is the Bag Smart travel bag. This is so awesome. I think I saw it on like a travel blog of some sort, and I was looking at it and I was like, wow, this is great. So the thing that I love about this, first of all, is that it hangs on the door, and I knew that the bathroom on the inside of the door had a little hanger just from being on Norwegian cruises before, and knowing that like space is limited, so it was nice to have a hanging compartment. So as I'm fighting with this here, you do have this outer pocket that has room for, you know, you can put makeup brushes in here this way. I think that's what it was intended for. I didn't use it for that, but then you do have one zipper pouch right here, but the magic is all inside here. So this little hanger comes out and you can hang this up. So I'm not going to be able to get all of this in frame, but you can see here you've got a lot of sections, and the thing that I like is these compartments, like this one especially, it unzips from the top and the bottom. So if you have a big bottle that you're trying to get out, it makes it a lot easier. You have two small compartments up here. Here is where I put like my lash serum, my eye drops. By the way, I totally sucked at using my lash serum. I do use Latisse, and I used it like a third of the days. I just couldn't be bothered, I guess. So I had, you know, smaller items up here, and then here is where, let me see if I can like unzip this because I feel like the lights are catching it. So you have pockets here where I popped in sunscreen, body oil, you know, different toiletries. That was really great to have. A whole another one down here that is not pocketed. It's just like elasticized. And then this small one down here, we had a mix of flossers and Q-tips in here. And then, yeah, we just hung this on the back of the door, and it was really great to be able to get into. You could, you know, flip it over and use the other side if you needed to. This was really nice to have. I am actually going to steal this as my personal travel bag. So I'm going to take everything out of that 31 bag and pop it in here. The only downside to this is while it has the plastic on the outside, it isn't plastic lined. So if anything leaks, it is going to look yucky after a while. It's not going to be like wipe outable. We're using that word, but just the handiness of having all of these compartments. That 31 bag, it's just one bag with like one pocket in it on the inside, and I'm constantly digging through it to try to find what I need. So I think this is gonna be really nice to have now that I'm traveling more for work again. It'll just make my life easier. So I'll just keep my non-makeup items in here and like toiletry, hair care, stuff like that. So I'm really excited to transfer everything into this one. Maybe I'll share a picture on Instagram when I've got it all filled up. If you're curious about that, like I could just throw that into my stories, I might do that. But I did want to say that this is one that I really enjoyed. They did have it in a couple colors as well. Okay, I feel like maybe I'm talking a little bit fast in this video. Sorry, I just don't want it to be too long, but I want to share all the goodies with you. So you can always like slow it down to like 0.75 times if you need to. So the other thing that I took along with me was this BK Beauty travel kit of brushes. I did supplement with some other brushes in here, but I definitely enjoyed having the full BK Beauty set. So what I have in here right now are the travel sizes of the 101 and the 107. And then I personally put in the 111 because you know that I need to have this bronzer brush in my life at all times. So for the travel size brushes in here, you have the travel size 203. This is a great like lid brush. You also have the travel size 207, which makes like a really great like large pencil brush or like a, you know, crease brush, like an outer corner brush. And then you have the travel 202, which is a good blender. Then I put in here a couple brushes. I have the 210, which is the more like pointed, defined pencil brush. And then also the 205, which is the angled brush. I actually use that as my concealer brush on the trip. So those are the BK Beauty brushes that I have in here. And then I popped in a few others. So let me share those with you. I don't even think I necessarily used all of these. The face brushes, I used all of them. I had to have my Wayne Goss airbrush. This is what I prefer putting powder, like loose powder to set my concealer or anytime that I felt like overly shiny. So I had to have that one along. I also brought along the Wayne Goss #2 brush. This is what I used for my liquid bronzer or, you know, my contour. So this was really nice to have along as well. And then the two brushes I used for blush, I have the Rephr #4. I use this for my cream products, and then the Wayne Goss #10 I used for my powders. So then for other eye brushes, I brought along 3 from my Lara Faye Royal Blue set, the E12, E13, and E14 brushes. So basically a bunch of different sizes of blenders. I used all of these. A lot of days, honestly, I was just using the Big Daddy E14 to like put a wash of one color on my lid. And then for other brushes, I have the Wayne Goss 18, my all-time favorite lid brush. And then I brought this random crown brush to be able to use as an inner corner. Don't even think I ever used that guy. And then the Blend Bunny B1 brush for like a little tiny definer. So like I said, some of these I didn't use or maybe use them once. I was very, very simple with my eye looks, which I had a feeling was going to be the way, but in case I wanted to do like a dramatic smoky eye one night for like date night, I wanted to have that option. I didn't end up doing that at all, which we'll talk about as we get into the makeup, but I did want to have the options. And this little travel kit fits so much. BK Beauty sent this over to me, by the way. I am an affiliate with the brand, and you can use my code KEEPBeautyReal to save. So I appreciate, I would say some of these brushes I have purchased and some of them were gifted to me, but I really like this travel set. I was like, oh, not something I need at all, but I really do like having it. It's been really convenient to have and it fits a lot inside. So thank you so much to the brand. All right, there's the brushes. Now let's get into all the makeup. By the way, speaking of brushes, can I just say between travel and all of the other brushes, I have so many makeup brushes I need to clean. I was hoping that the makeup brush cleansing fairy would stop by my house and surprise me while I was gone and take care of all my dirty brushes, but she didn't. So this chaos, it's gonna have to be cleaned. And of course, you know, I had these brushes in my kit for 12 days, so they definitely need to get a good scrubbing. And that 111 brush, I need another one because I only have the one, so I need to clean it like today. Maybe I'll do that tonight. Okay, time for the makeup. Let's dive in. So right off the bat, I knew I was gonna take my tried and true Complexion Rescue Tinted Moisturizer from Bare Minerals. I pulled out the shade Ginger, which is normally my summer shade. I use, what is it? I have it sitting right here. I have Bamboo. I have Bamboo for like fall, winter, and the Ginger shade for like spring, summer, or whenever I'm like more tan. So that's what I threw in. And then at the last minute, I was like, you know what? In case I get very dark, I should probably bring something just a little bit darker. And I have this Big Daddy Face and Body from MAC, obviously, that I got. And I remember getting this like right after I got back from a vacation. And so I was very, very dark, and that is the only time I can ever use this. So I use it as a mixer with lighter foundations to sort of make them work, or when I'm really dark. So all I did was like, I squeezed a little bit into this little travel size, and thank goodness I did, because I would say probably halfway through the 13-day trip, I was too dark for the Ginger. So it's like at first it was Ginger, and then 2 days in I was adding a little bit of this and then a little bit more and a little bit more. And for like the final 3 days, all I was using was this. So if you were familiar with MAC Face and Body, it really has, I would say, a more light to maybe medium buildable coverage, but it really just gives a beautiful, like, evening out to the skin. So I really like that effect. I personally think that this has a bit more coverage. I have a combination of the both on today already. Let's see, I've been back, what is today? Today is Tuesday, so I've been back for like 3 days and I'm already more light. Like Wisconsin, like I said, Wisconsin is like sucking the tan out of me already, so I didn't need much of the MAC Face and Body, but I did use a little bit. So thank goodness I did that, because honestly, that complexion rescue would have been far too light for me to use, and I would have just been using nothing, which would have been fine, but I do like to have something just a little bit to like even out the skin. So that's what I took for complexion as far as foundation or tinted moisturizers go. Now I brought 2 concealers, and again, for the same reason, I brought my Tried and True Oma Stay Woke concealer, but this, I mean, look at this. This would have been like 2010 Kelly. Like really light under eye. So I was digging through my concealers and I have this Clinique Even Better All Over concealer. I think I got this from Influencer, and they sort of, oh no, maybe, was it a freebie from Ulta? But whatever it was, I got it online and you just kind of had to like pick your shade, and I picked too dark for me for most of the time. So I brought it along to be able to do a combo, and that's exactly what I did. Like over time, I mixed these, and then less and less of the Oma, more of this one. Today, all I have on is this one. So I like it. I actually haven't used it much because it is so dark. The nice thing was this does work well as an under eye, but it also works really well to like spot conceal. While I didn't find this overly drying, I don't think it's emollient enough for me to use in the wintertime normally when I'm home, which is fine because I will never be this color in the wintertime at home normally, but it was nice to have. So those are the 2 concealers that I brought. I'm definitely glad that I took a light and a dark and just sort of was able to cocktail over time. All right, so now for powder, this is not exactly super travel friendly, but it's the one that I love. This is the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. This is the one I brought. I love it. Most of the time, I just ended up dusting it on the under eye, over the lid, especially if I wasn't gonna be putting on any eyeshadow, and then just through my T-zone. And a lot of times, you know, when it came time to go to dinner, I would be like, I'd like dust a little powder on, maybe add a little bit more blush, tap on some lipstick, and I was good to go. But it was nice to have this just to kind of like keep the shine at bay. So this is one that I will just always have in my collection and brought her with. All right, let's jump away from the complexion for just a second, just because I saw these sitting here. Let's talk about brows. I brought several brow options. What I wish I had brought, and I don't know why I didn't, was a brow gel, a tinted brow gel. That is my one regret. Well, that's one of my regrets, is like not bringing a tinted brow gel. I thought I did. I used one the morning that we left, and I don't know if I just like thought I was gonna throw it in my case and forgot. But all of a sudden on day 2, I was like, I don't have a brow gel. So what I did have was this Wet n Wild, let's see, Ultimate Brow Micro Brow Pencil. And then I had 2 brow pens. I had the Anastasia one that I'm trying to use up in medium brown, and then the Glossier Brow Flick in brown. These worked great. Like this is what I use most of the time. I did use the pencil a couple days. These I just like to like throw in to give myself a little bit of dimension and texture to my brows. I do still have a bit of my microblading in my brows, so my brows aren't completely naked when I don't have anything on, but I wanted something a little bit more. What I brought for my fixative is like my new fave. This is the NYX Brow Glue. I love this so much. For me, this really is a good combination between like a brow gel and a brow wax. And the way that I used it most of the time was to really just give myself a lifted brow, but not like a laminated brow. So I usually just went through, did the brow pen first, and then put in the brow gel just to kind of like get everything into place. I also feel like because it is that waxier texture, it also just makes the brows, like your brow hairs that you do have, look a little thicker. So I really am liking this one. That's what I brought. I thought it lasted really well throughout the day. But again, I do wish that for, you know, easy application, I just brought a tinted brow gel. So next time I will be bringing a tinted brow gel and a brow pen, just so that I have options. By the way, another random thing that I have sitting here that I just always have in this travel bag is a little mini of the MAC Fix Plus. I figured I could use this to dampen eyeshadows. I could also use it to like set my skin, give myself a little hydration if I felt like I needed it. I thought it would be maybe kind of cooling after the sun as well. So this one I think is actually the coconut. Yeah, it's the coconut scent, which is kind of nice for vacation too. All right, let's hop back into complexion. Sorry, I'm kind of like bouncing around here, but I'm just kind of going through the pockets of my little travel set here. So for bronzer, I brought a cream and a powder. For the powder, you had to know I was gonna bring this one. This is the Haus Labs. This is definitely one of my favorite powder bronzers. I have the shade Medium 6 right here. This is the one that I brought and I just love it. I just love it. I use this more at the beginning of the trip just to kind of help add a little bit of bronzer. After a while though, I was already like so bronze, and what I needed was something even a little bit deeper, so that's when I started pulling this one in. This is the Hollywood Contour Wand in medium dark, and normally this would be too dark for my skin, but as my skin gets more on the tan side, this works really great in moderation. So I really do like having this one. It just lasts a long time too. I did also bring one other of the Charlotte Tilbury wands. This is the only highlight type product that I brought, and this is the Glowgasm Beauty Light wand in Peachgasm. Honestly, I think I used this one day, maybe 2 days. I just was not feeling the highlighter. I already had a good glow going from my tan. You know, it was fairly humid out, like my skin got glistening anyway. I didn't feel like I needed it, but there was like maybe one night that I popped a little bit of this on, but that was the only highlighter I brought, and no regrets. This is so small that it was fine to have in here, but I just probably could have gotten away with not having one at all, but it was nice to have the option. Now, you're probably not going to be surprised to find out that the one makeup product that I wasn't minimalistic in bringing along with me is blush. To me, the epitome of vacation makeup, especially like summer, not that it's summer, but you know, like that super sunny makeup, is a beautiful, bright, blushy cheek. And so I brought quite a few options. The one that I grabbed for the most, the one that I'm using today, is the Danessa Myricks Vision Flush in Sweet Nectar. It's this beautiful, like orangey, slightly coral shade. It is so pretty. I've talked about this a lot, but I will show you here. Like it is orange with just a kiss of coral to it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Blends out so nicely into the skin. Ooh, the other one that I used that I really liked, I haven't actually opened this. Oh yeah, it's kind of a mess. So this is one of the Bear With Me jelly blushes from NYX. The problem was I opened this up upside down because I'm an idiot. And I was like, oh no. And I tried to get it back in the thing, and I need to clean it out. That's not too bad, but this is a beautiful shade. This is lovely, but a little bit goes a very long way. I love these. I'm not sure if you can get these anymore, but the texture of this is so, so nice. I do have a picture of the night that I wore it. I will make sure to pop this up here to Editing Kelly. You can go ahead and show that one, but I had a lot on it. I popped it on and it was like, oh, and then I had to like blend it in. I tried to like tap product over the top. It was a lot, but it looked really beautiful. To me, you just can't have enough blush, but that was tipping towards too much blush. It blended out all right. But then I did bring 2 other cream blushes because why not? I took the shade Hope from the Rare Beauty blushes. I believe this is one of the more like glowy blushes. This one is more of like a nudie pink, which was perfect for the beginning of the trip when I didn't have a lot of color to my skin yet, or the couple nights that I just wanted a light flush of color. The other one that I brought, which boy, this is an old one, and I should have used it more just to be using it up, but this is one of the beach tints from Becca, and this is in the shade Dragon Fruit. So this is like a beautiful, like brighter kind of like pink. I totally should have worn this more. This is like a beautiful one. It's definitely like a brighter pink, but I think I only wore this once. I mean, there's only 12 days, y'all. There's only 12 days, and I could only wear so much makeup. And a lot of the days I didn't pop anything on until later in the day because we were in the water, but should have worn this one more. I'm gonna have to use a few of these while my tan is still here just to take advantage of it and to try to get through a few of these. So speaking of brighter pink, one of the 2 powder blushes that I took was one of these Moira Ombre blushers. So this is the shade Morning Sunshine. I thought this would be a nice one to have that really poppy pink, and then also this more like orange shade. I did use this once. It was nice to have. It probably wasn't something that I needed. The packaging is a little bit clunky. I don't know that I would do that again, but I just wanted some options. This is one that I used a lot. This is obviously a little small size of the NARS blush in Torrid. It's more of like a corally, yeah, like a coral pink is what I would say that this is. It's beautiful. It blends under the skin nicely. Honestly, NARS does some beautiful blushers. I just really thought that this would be perfect, and it was nice for just like a quick whisk on. I could even use this as an eyeshadow if I wanted. Not that I needed any more eyeshadow. I'm going to show you those right now, all of the eyeshadows that I took. Okay, eyeshadow. This is the one thing that when I go on vacation like this, I usually bring too many, and I know that I'm bringing too many, but I do just like to have options. I didn't do too bad here. The one that I used the most was the Viseart Soleil La Plage palette. I did a video using this, and I mean, it's the perfect vacation vibes palette. Is it like overly wham bam? No, but that's not necessarily what I needed for this trip. I will say a couple of these shimmer shades, once I wet my brush with Fix Plus, they did get like quite shimmery and, you know, nice, but it still wasn't like molten indie eyeshadow, but that wasn't what I needed. A lot of days I ended up just doing a little inner corner or like a very like clean wash of shimmer, if anything at all. A lot of times I was just wetting my brush because I didn't want the fallout. I did find that if I used a dry brush, these did have some fallout to them. Maybe I was just packing my brush on too much, but honestly, I think that I really just used like the 2 lighter nude mattes. I think one day I did pop a little bit of the yellow on and then the lighter shimmers. Like, it was very simple. Most of the time I just did a very simple eye. I did also bring the Natasha Denona Cranberry palette because I thought it would be nice to have a few of these like tropical sunset feels, you know, like something that's a little bit more in that berry tone. The only one, oh no, I used these 2 shimmers. So I used the nude one a couple times, and then I did use this, you know, nice, like slightly duochrome-y sort of, you know, orange, slightly rosy shade. But I didn't dip into anything else. I just wanted simple. And I don't have any regrets because it was nice to have the option. The one palette that I didn't use at all is this Dose of Colors palette. This is the Cutting Edge palette. I just thought maybe there would be a day that I wanted this really warm, kind of like warm toasted camel shade. This is like a fun kind of grungy green shade. You of course have the beautiful gold and green in here. I thought, oh, maybe one night I'm just gonna want like a fun like green smoky eye for something, because I did bring a green dress along. Nope. I didn't wear anything dark at all. There were a lot of days that I didn't wear eyeshadow at all, and the days that I did, it was never dark. There was maybe one time that I put a deeper shade, and by deeper, I mean like slight contour of color in my crease, but most of the time it was just kind of like what I have today, maybe with just a little bit of a wash of shimmer over the lid. And that's okay. The fact that I did not use this, it's okay. It's a small palette, and that's why I wanted a few small palettes so I could have a couple different color stories. That way, you know, I had some options. No regrets here. So the one thing that I had considered bringing was a cream shadow. Like, I was like, I should just pick out one Sydney Grace color that I could put on, blend onto the lid, and it'll be super pretty. The only thing is, because I'm not a fingers user, especially like because my nails are so long, but I just also don't like using my fingers, I would have to use a brush, and that brush would just get gunky after a couple days. So I was like, cream shadows on a trip like that, just not ideal, but it would have been nice to have one with in case I did want something that just was a little bit more high foil, but also really easy to use. So maybe next time. Okay, so I did bring one eyeliner. I brought this deep brown from the Original House Laboratories brand. This is the shade Whiskey. I never used it. In fact, it was towards the end of the trip, and it was kind of like hidden in this little pocket here. And I was like, oh, it would have been nice to have a little lash definition for like going out at night, but I just never used it. It's not a big deal, but I didn't ever use this one. I did bring 2 mascaras. I don't even think I used the second one at all. The one that I used every single day was this Milani Highly Rated, just because it's a tubing mascara and it's super easy to use. I like it. It's what I have on today. I did a review. I think I posted it here as a short. It's nice. It's lengthening, it's defining. It is very wet though. So A, it did tend to like droop a curl a little bit, and B, it gets very messy. Almost every single time I put this on, I ended up getting little flecks, and not even from like the applicator hitting my skin. I think it was honestly like splash. And there would even be times it was so wet that like I should have just been like a statue for a few minutes and let it dry, because I swear everything would be fine. I would go to grab something and I feel like somehow my lashes hit an area of my face and like I'd have spots. Luckily, if you let this dry, it was really easy to flick off with a Q-tip, but it was annoying. It was so annoying. So this washes off really easily, and that's what I was looking for, but it is also kind of a pain in the butt because it is so wet. So it did make a little bit of a mess. There maybe could have been one night that I used this Bite Beauty just to have like some extra like thickness, because this does not make your lashes thick at all. You could do 2 or 3 coats and it's not gonna get very thick. That's just not what tubing mascaras do. So I thought, like, again, at night, if I wanted like va-va-voom lashes, I think maybe there was one night that I just like wiggled it over the top of this tubing mascara. But of course, a regular mascara, you just tend to like have to work a little bit more to get off. So I think I did maybe only use this one night. So I think that covers everything for eyes. Now let's get into the lips. I knew going into this that I was gonna want some very easy options, and then also a couple pops of color to be able to wear at night. So I brought 2 Fenty glosses. This is an old little mini from Sunset. This is the shade Cheeky. It's obviously like a nice bright orange. I brought my favorite Fenty Fussy just because this is like a good everyday shade. And then I brought the House Labs PhD Hybrid Lip Oil in the shade Secondary. So this is obviously the orangey one. It's what I have on. Again, like that I wore most days. Now I did also bring along the Powerful Plump balm from Buxom in the shade Fiery. They don't make this one anymore, but I do really like this. This is a plumping lip balm. So it does have that like slightly cooling plumping feel, but it's a balm. It's like a slightly waxy balm, you know, like a chapstick or something. I love this shade. I could put it on, you know, really sheer or like really build it up for some nice color. I wish they still made this one, but they don't. So that was a nice one to have along. For color, the only like high color lip product that I brought was Strawberry Shock from, of course, Lisa Eldridge. Loved it, loved wearing it. In that picture that I showed you wearing the Bear With Me blush, that's the color that I have on my lips. It was like so perfect. It's just the epitome of like summer vacation-y vibes for me, like tan skin, so pretty. And that was it. I knew that most of the time I was just gonna want something hydrating, something that, you know, just gave me like juicy lips, but maybe a little bit of color. And I had no regrets there. I did not bring a lip liner. We're not gonna bother with that. It was all easy peasy. Okay, I think that is it. I think that is it for all of the beauty things that I took on the trip. I did just wanna make a little like special mention of my Abbott Lion jewelry. Y'all, I know that I've talked about this on my channel a couple times, but I am really liking this jewelry. These necklaces, so I've got the one on here today. That's the only thing that I brought on my trip was, as far as like necklaces, was Abbott Lion. I took my two little like sphere necklaces, the ones that have the little dots. By the way, please excuse the nail. Busted that off on the last day of the trip. Glad, glad that it wasn't until the end. And then I took this pretty chain necklace, and then of course this disc sphere. I can't remember what one is called, but I wore these in the hot tub. I wore them swimming in the ocean. I wore them in the shower. Like, they worked great. I did also bring a couple pairs of earrings and different options to have in here. I just had these like little simple huggies that these aren't Abbott Lion, but I just kept these in most of the time. I wore other earrings one night. There was one night that I had my hair in a bun. I had like a high-necked dress on, and I was like, I need a little something more on. I couldn't wear a necklace just because of the way the neck of the dress was, so I just pulled out a pair of big hoops. It was very simple. I knew that I probably wasn't going to be doing a lot of jewelry flip-flopping, but I was just so happy to have these along. I still think that this jewelry looks so, so good. I am telling you, I am probably going to be buying a few more pieces from Abbott Lion just to have in my collection, because while they are not like costume jewelry prices, you know, it's not like what you would spend like buying a necklace at Target. It's also not like buying a pure gold item, but they have just lasted so nicely. So I've been super happy with them. I'm glad that I took them on the trip. It just gave me just enough to feel like, you know, I had a little something going on. Oh, I also had my initial necklace. Not sure where that one is. Oh, it's right in here. Yeah, so I took my little initial necklace along too and wore that one. Glad I didn't lose that on the trip. Anyway, I just wanted to mention those as well because I know that I've talked about them, and I feel like after giving them a beating on this vacation, I can officially put the Keep Beauty Real stamp of approval on these one more time. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. Again, I will link everything down below that I can find for you in case there's anything that you're wanting to try out, or something that, you know, trips your trigger to take on a vacation, or if you're just wanting some springy, summery makeup in your life. I get that too. I'm so ready for warmer weather. And again, I will have that little travel video coming soon. We just have a lot of content to be able to go through between Jeremy and I both using our phones, and then we also have a camera that we were using, so it's just gonna be a while before that one is up. So I just wanted to say hi to everybody, let you know what I took on my trip. At the end of the day, I think that the only things that I wish that I had had with were higher SPF and brow gel, and a tinted brow gel. That's really not too bad. That's not too bad at all. At this point, I've cruised enough that I kind of know what I like to have along, but I guess I would say priorities of how I want to spend my time on vacation have shifted over time. So I've taken less and less makeup. I like to do something really quick. Honestly, most days I was spending maybe 20 minutes putting on makeup at the most. A lot of days it was like 10 minutes quick and go, and then like a touch up at night, like adding more blush, a little bit of lipstick. So I just wanted to be soaking up the time and not spending as much time getting ready for the evening or for the day. And a lot of times I was jumping in the ocean anyway, right? All right, lovelies, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to check in and see what I took on vacation. Is there anything that you know that you always have to have on vacation? I would love to know what your vacation picks are. So drop it in the comments down below, and I will see you really soon.